Hey everyone, Movie Club here, and today we're watching Case 39. Emily is a mid-career social worker who handles unhappy, troubled kids. Some get beaten at home, others act out. She's drowning in files. And now they dump one more on her, the 39th. Big-eyed little Lily looks sadly out from a photo. Well, time to save the poor kid, but only tomorrow. And Emily heads back to her lonely place and her fish. Then her friend, child psychologist Doug, calls and drags the exhausted pal to a bar. Once they're there, he suddenly suggests moving from platonic to physical. She does like Doug, but she can't bring herself to say yes, and he tells her to sleep on it. Back home, she studies Lily's case file, and in the morning she heads over for a welfare check. The mother is strange, like she never sleeps, and she mixes up days. The father glares at the social worker and answers questions by whispering into his wife's ear. Both spouses insist there's no problem, and they don't need help. After the visit, Emily tells her boss the parents give her the creeps. The family is summoned to child services, where the father swears everything with them is wonderful. But Emily's gut says to question the girl one-on-one. She skillfully wins the sad kid's trust, even making her laugh. The child confesses that her parents hate her and whisper about sending her to hell. But then, in front of others, she denies what she said. Alarmed, the social worker asks for help from Officer Mike, but he has no grounds to watch the family. So Emily waits for Lily after school, promises to pull her out of that house of horrors, and leaves her phone number. At night, the terrified girl calls Emily and says her parents are about to kill her right now. Emily rushes over, phoning Mike on the way, and the parents are already carrying their daughter into the kitchen where they shove her into the oven. With inhuman strength, the child kicks the door out, but the father brutally binds her and drags her back to the place of execution. Pulling up, the pair hears the child's frantic scream and break the door down. And the monstrous parents tape the oven door shut, turn on the gas, and light the flame. Emily bursts in and frees the girl, and the cop neutralizes the deranged parents. In the morning, the social worker drives the child to a shelter, and the girl begs to live with her rescuer. The woman hesitates, then takes the child into foster care pending adoption. She has to go collect the child's things from that horrible house where she was tortured. A grave is drilled into the concrete basement floor. Crucifixes hang everywhere. The parents' bedroom locks with 2 hefty bolts, and you can see they regularly brace the door with a dresser. But what threat were the lunatics so afraid of in their own home? A couple of days later, Doug works with Lily in a therapy group alongside other kids. The psychologist tells his friend the girl is opening up bit by bit, but a decade of trauma won't heal fast. Suddenly they're told one of the group, Diego, killed his sleeping parents with a wrench. But how did a boy find that kind of strength? And in therapy, he said he missed his family. Now Diego is crushed by what he did, and Emily can't make any sense of it. She tells Doug she grew up without parents too, and knows how fragile a child's happiness is. In the morning, she finds her own childhood photo with her mom among Lily's things. The girl innocently says she just wanted to know her better, and the woman shares that her mother died in a car crash. Then Emily meets with Mike, who asks why she called Diego's house right before the murder. Emily is stunned and swears she was asleep. Lily supposedly was too, but the seasoned cop is sure the child is lying. When they ask Diego about the call, he has a panic attack and admits some man rang him. Doug unexpectedly learns Lily isn't afraid of her parents at all. She's afraid of herself, because she thinks poorly of people. For example, she says the psychologist himself is shallow and self-satisfied. That's odd coming from a child, and Doug asks if she understands those words, but Lily confidently defines them and hints he should be afraid of his future. The psychologist gets goosebumps. Later, he admits to Emily he's never been threatened by a kid. That evening, the girl quizzes her guardian about what Doug said, and Emily assures her he praised her. At night, Doug's phone rings, and all he hears is a blurry buzzing. A minute later, his ears start to itch, and he pulls out a wasp. In his talk with Lily, he mentioned he's terrified of those insects. More wasps appear. He panics and brushes them off, but they crawl from his eyes, nose, and mouth. Trying to stop the nightmare, Doug twists his own neck with his hands. So Emily loses the only person close to her, and now sobs at the funeral. She starts to fear Lily, thinking the girl had a hand in his death. Mike believes Doug took his own life, but Emily says Lily rattled him in session. However, the check shows no one called from the social worker's house this time. Hunting for answers, Emily obtains the recording of the parents' interrogation. On the tape, the mother blandly says God told them to destroy this spawn of hell that exterminates people. The girl rigs situations where people die. That's how all their relatives were lost. And Lily didn't want to get rid of her parents until she found a replacement for them. Cold sweat runs down Emily's back. That's exactly what she told the kid, that she'd save her from the family. She goes to the prison and sees the girl's mother in a psychotic break. She thinks she's burning. The father is more lucid and bluntly asks who close to her has died. The man explains Lily won't let her go. This monster reads minds and predicts actions. It's not a child at all, but an ancient evil, and its goal is to learn what hell looks like for a specific person, and then make them live it. It sounds maniacal, but the social worker believes him, and at home she hides her phone, household chemicals, and knives. Though after a moment she keeps one for herself. Lily, back from school, innocently asks whether they're treating her mother well in prison, but Emily never said she'd visited that woman. In the morning, she asks a colleague to find a new family for the girl fast. She says the bond just isn't working, but the coworker thinks these are temporary bumps like all foster homes have, and doesn't hurry. Emily picks Lily up from a new therapist and sees the child whispering into another girl's ear. Panicking, the guardian yanks the killer away to keep disaster at bay, and the psychologist is outraged by her rough handling of a child. Lily defends Emily, saying the poor thing is just stressed, but she's kind. After that, the social worker and girls step into the elevator, and Emily forbids any more therapy. Suddenly, the car starts to plummet, and Emily grips the walls in terror while Lily calmly watches and then slows the elevator. The woman tells Mike everything, but even he, a man of faith, waves away tales of demons. He thinks Lily is a liar, not a killer, and certainly not spawn of hell. So it turns out no one will help Emily now. At home, she bolts her bedroom door, and the girl notices and mockingly hands her a fallen screw. At the office, the social worker snaps and tears into a woman who beats her son. Then the hallucinations begin, and she comes to at night in an empty building. At home, Lily cheerfully announces she made dinner, but Emily rockets into her room and throws the bolt. The girl asks her not to ignore her. Mom already did that. Then, in a sweet voice, she asks to be let in. She's scared because of the storm. Next, she shrieks in hysteria and slams into the door. Emily suddenly hears a noise in the closet, opens it, and a bloodied woman leaps at her. In shock, the social worker throws her bedroom door open and sprints outside in a tank top and underwear. The specter chases her, and Emily takes shelter on a bus. The driver is baffled by a screaming, soaking woman in underwear and asks her to calm down. There's no one on the street. The mirage vanishes, and Emily runs to her car, but Lily is already waiting inside. The demon girl orders her to give her whatever she wants: ice cream, therapy, anything. And the cowed guardian doesn't argue. In the morning, a colleague tells Emily she found a family for the girl. The woman looks at the photo of smiling parents and kids and realizes a nightmare is about to descend on them. She consults Lily's father, and he hints at how to stop the girl. The demon weakens in sleep, but sleeps very rarely. They staked her out for 3 months, which is why the wife looked so awful. The father also recommends not being afraid, since the monster feeds on fear. Lily already knows about that visit and punishes her parents. The mother burns alive again, and she speaks to the father through another inmate. The man stabs him with a fork, wrecks everything around, and eventually impales himself on his own cafeteria utensil. Emily calls Mike and plays him a recording. Lily threatened his family, and as it turns out, she called Doug from a cell phone. Now the cop agrees to help destroy the demon that wears a child's face. After that talk, Emily stocks up on sleeping pills, and in the parking garage, Mike hallucinates snarling dogs, and one of them attacks him. He tries to shoot the animal, but blows his own brains out. After learning about this supposed suicide, Emily goes to Lily, who's peacefully watching TV with popcorn. In helpless fury, the social worker demands the creature leave her house, and the demon orders her not to yell, and suddenly shows her true face. In terror, Emily locks herself in her room, bracing the door with furniture. But the enraged thing slams with monstrous force and plows through every barrier. The social worker hides under the bed and sees little feet on the floor as a child's hand lifts a screwdriver and buries it into the laminate up to the hilt. Then Lily peeks under the bed and sweetly promises they'll learn to resolve family conflicts. She adds she just wants love and to be tucked in. Emily seizes the chance and brings chamomile tea to bed, with a horse dose of sleeping meds. The girl drinks and asks for a surprise tomorrow, but Emily grants the wish early. Waiting until the demon sleeps, she sets her own house on fire. She grabs her fish and steps outside, and there, among the gawkers, stands Lily, scolding her guardian for playing dirty. After that, they drive off to spend the night at a hotel, and Lily probes the darkest secret in Emily's life. Her mother tried to kill her in that crash. That's why she never had kids, afraid of bad blood. She's driving straight into a truck, but conquering her fear, tells herself it isn't real, and drives straight through it. She notices the demon got scared, and using its weakness, steers the car into a river. The monster fights for life and drags Emily down, but she manages to break free. On the bank, in the sunset light, she watches the last bubble rise to the surface from the drowning little demon. That's where the movie ends. Thanks to everyone who watched this video to the very end. Please hit the like button on this video, drop a comment with your thoughts on the film, and I'll see you in the next video.